Oh. Good morning. I'm going to need just a minute. I need to eat a couple of crackers and drink some vodka. So, y'all just talk amongst yourselves and give me just a second. Hopefully, I can do this live. Nothing's bad's happening. I'm just not feeling well. So, don't be scared. Okay. Yesterday, I had two doctor's appointments. Cause I haven't really talked about this much, but over the past, I don't know, that year or two, I've been having ear issues. Um, I've been having these spells of kind of vertigo feeling, and then I feel pressure in my ears, and I end up going to like the American Family Care or my primary care doctor, and I have a double ear infection every time. So I'm having chronic double ear infections. And so they did allergy testing. I don't know. I talked about this before, but I thought I was allergic to my rabbits and I was devastated. And they did allergy testing on every single animal that I have in my farm. And I'm not allergic to any of them. So then they put me on Singular. Didn't work. In the meantime, I'm still having double ear infections. I go back to the ENT and he says, we're going to try Flonase twice a day. Then I start having nosebleeds. I don't know if y'all have ever done Flonase, but you're going to have nosebleeds. And so I got sick of it and it wasn't working. And so I went back to the doctor. I said, it's not working. And he said, I think you're having migraines. I was like, I am not having a migraine. My head doesn't hurt. But he said, Judy, there's all different types of migraines. And I think you're having migraines, and I think I need to refer you to a neurologist. Well, part of being the best version of yourself is fighting for your health. Unfortunately, doctors are in practice medicine, the practice medicine. And sometimes, it's a guessing game on what's wrong with you. And so I feel like I was like, I am not going to a neurologist. I do not think he is correct. I keep having ear infections, but what's happening is when I have an ear infection, I never can get an appointment with the ENT. I have to go to American Family Care or my primary care doctor. And then when I get there, I have a double ear infection. Well, then I get on antibiotics and steroids, and by the time I go to the ENT, I'm good. So like he don't see anything wrong. So I decided to go get a second opinion because this week, as a matter of fact, it was a week from today, I was having it and I went to the doctor. I had a double ear infection. And so I've been on antibiotics for 7 days now. And I got a shot of steroid and I took a steroid pack. And it's like a mind game because I start feeling better and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm 1000% better. And then all of a sudden I crash. It's like the steroid wears off and then I crash and then I don't feel good again. It's like, oh God, I'm not better. And so I went to the ENT, a different ENT on yesterday. And she said, Judy, your pressure is completely off and your eardrums are not sitting in the right place. It is 100% your ears. I was like, thank you. I knew it. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but I knew it was my ears and not something in my head. And so she said, but I can't do a CAT scan until all this goes away. And so she put me on a double dose of steroids. And I started them yesterday. I don't know if you know much about steroids, but I'm on 40 milligrams a dose. So, like when I tell you that if you see me in high speed, please do not judge me. I am on steroids and I am like wired. Okay. So, right before I went live, I took my antibiotic, I took my steroids, and I took my other medicine, and I feel nauseated. So that's why I was eating a cracker. So the plan of action is to take this strong dose of antibiotics, and then in 2 weeks, I'm going to have a CAT scan because she's got to figure out, is this coming from my sinus cavity or something with my ear? And she can't see when I'm filled with snot. So in 2 weeks, I'm going for a CAT scan. This is the deal. I'm probably going to have tubes in my ears. Which I said that since day one. But if it's coming from my sinus cavity, there's a possibility I have to have sinus surgery. I'm here to tell you that I know my body and it's not coming from my sinus cavity, it's coming from my ears because normally I do not have this, okay? But she said sometimes it can come from your sinus cavity and you don't know it. So there's a possibility I would have to have sinus surgery or tubes in my ears. This scares the bejesus out of me. But she said, I know it's odd for an adult to have tubes. But what they do is they do the tubes in the office. They don't put me to sleep. And I was like, So what they do is they deaden your ear with numbing drops. And they put the tube in your ear canal while you're awake. And I drive home. I don't even need a driver. And I'm thinking in my head, this is a train wreck. Okay, so at least she is thorough and she is not just jumping to conclusions. She's going to do the CAT scan. I was going to curl my hair today, but it's going to rain again. Imagine that. And so, I'm glad she's thorough and she's going to do the CAT scan to see, if it's my ears or if it's my sinus cavity. She's being thorough. And I'm going to tell you, when you have mental health issues, I don't know if anybody out there gets me, but Judy and steroids are not friends at all. Okay? We are not BFFs. When Judy gets on steroids, this is what happens. I usually go manic. Okay? Like, I am wired. I don't sleep. I'm 90 to nothing. I can't slow down. My talking is so fast that you can't even hardly understand me. So like I talked to my psychiatrist on day before yesterday, and she said, "Let's do this. Let's set up an appointment every Thursday so we can talk this through." Because I have to somehow slow myself down so that I don't just spin out of control and have some type of heart attack. Because I have to take these steroids to clear this up. So I am off a bit. I'm being honest. Okay. Yesterday afternoon was my girly yearly. Okay. Yesterday was full of doctor's appointments. So when I went to my girly doctor yesterday, I said, "Look, I had a mammogram scare and I need to know, are they these hormones that I'm on? Is that causing dense breast?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay," because she's not the one who put me on the hormones. Y'all know how this is. Like when you have a problem and you're trying to get into a specialist, it's like a 6-month waiting period before you can get an appointment. So then you end up going to either American Family Care or your primary care doctor to handle these problems, and then it's a disaster. So I went to my primary care doctor when I started having menopause symptoms, and she's the one that put me on hormones. So my gynecologist said, "Judy, listen to me." I said, "Okay." She said, "I don't worry about you having breast cancer. What I worry about is your family history of blood clots. Did you tell her that you have a family history of blood clots?" I said, "No, I didn't know to tell her that." She said, "That's what I worry about." Last year, my gynecologist my mother had a blood clot disorder. Okay. My mother's, I think this is right, her factor 8 through blood clots, which caused my mom to have continuously strokes until she died. My mother's brother has a history of blood clots. My mother's sister had brain cancer. Like, I have a train wreck when it comes to family history of illnesses. So she ran the blood work on me last year to see if I had the same disorder as my mother. And she said, "Judy," she said, "when you take hormones and you have a history of blood disorder, you run a huge risk of blood clots. And you can't take these hormones that you're on." And she said the hormones that you're on are compounded. I don't take pellets. I take compound hormones. There's no history of the long-term effects of a compound hormone, and I'm not comfortable with it. So no, you're not taking any of these hormones. So let's just keep in mind, okay? Judy has a history of depression and mental illness, right? That's why I talk about depression and mental illness. So I have this history. I am on 40 milligrams of steroids on top of an antibiotic, on top of being in menopause, on top of no hormones right now. Need I say more? Need I say more? If you are a woman and you've been in menopause, you know how it's so hard to difficult to deal with that. On top of steroids, antibiotics, and mental health issues. Judy is a total train wreck. Okay? Okay, total train wreck. So, over the next couple of weeks, if you notice I'm off, it's because I am off. Okay. The biggest thing that you can do for me is just pray that I get through this, because she did put me on a very low dose of estrogen, because this is what happens to me. Because when you have mental illness, you have so many things fighting you. Okay. So, what happens is if I don't get sleep, it throws me off. I'm that person that has to have 8 to 9 hours of sleep, or I am off mentally. Okay? I don't know if you get me. If you don't fight, if you don't fight depression, you better be praising Jesus right now, because you probably don't understand anything that I'm talking about. But if I do not get 9 hours of sleep, it's not good around Sneed's farmhouse, okay? So when I have hot flashes and I am soaking wet in the middle of the night, I'm not sleeping. So I don't know how the heck I'm going to get through this, but the best version of Judy in this moment is not to be 100% great, okay? The best version of Judy right now is to go, hey, I'm a train wreck. And when I say I'm a train wreck, I'm a flipping train wreck. Okay. I am not pretending right now to be great. To take care of myself, I have gone to my specialist, ENT, and got a second opinion. That is being the best version of myself. I've gone to my gynecologist, which really knows hormones and so forth. I have gone to her to get her honest opinion. When she talks to me about blood clots, that scares the bejesus out of me, because I know the result of a blood clot. Okay. And being the best version of myself is listening to my gynecologist and coming off these hormones. Okay. Also, to be the best version of myself is to contact my psychiatrist and go, look, it's like this. This, and this is happening to me. And I need to let you know that I may not be good. And we need to work on Judy staying level and not going, because if you're the type of person that fights depression where you're up and down, up and down, up and down, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not the person, if you wake up the same every day, you need to be praising Jesus, because I don't. I don't wake up the same every day. I wake up either depressed, I wake up hyper, I wake up like crying my eyes out. Like, I don't wake up the same every day like Shane Sneed. Okay, I'm a train wreck. And I tell you that, but I don't think y'all like really understand. So, I ask you to bear with me while I try to figure out what the best version of Judy is right now. And it may not be the Judy that you know, because sometimes the best version of yourself is not being 100%. Sometimes, I can't even breathe right now. Sometimes the best version of yourself is just taking it not day by day, but taking it minute by minute, hour by hour. Like, sometimes you have to do that. It's not like you can just snap and be great. or phone a friend and you're great. No, it's when you have a chemical imbalance in your head, it's not situational, it's a bit different. But you know your body. You know your body. And you know what it takes to be the best version of yourself. And what's best for Chris may not be best for Judy. You know, I can sit here and share with you things that I do to take care of myself, but that might not be the best version for you. You have to know yourself. Like I know I have to have at least 9 hours of sleep to function. Right? I know that because I know what happens when Judy doesn't get 9 hours of sleep. I know that when these storms start hitting me, I know I have to call my counselor and go, okay, this is happening. And sometimes I have to go, okay, I'm getting triggered by this. Shane said this, and he has just triggered the crap out of me, and I need help. I have to say, I need help, whether it be by my ENT, my gynecologist, my counselor, or whatever. But I go to professionals. I don't try to do it myself. When I try to do it myself, it becomes a train wreck. You know why? Because I can't do it by myself. If I could, I wouldn't be in the shape that I'm in. But when you're a woman and you go through menopause, you may not fight depression ever in your life. And then all of a sudden, menopause hits and you're eating everything in sight and you're burning up and you're ill as a hornet and you're hard to live with. And it's like, I don't even like to see myself, more or less, be with Shane or Larry. I'm a train wreck. You have to say that. Like, I'm terrible to live with right now. I'm eating everything in the house. My waist and my butt's getting huge. It triggers my eating disorder. Like, I'm a train wreck. A total train wreck. You have to say it out loud. And if you sit here and you try to do it yourself, if you could do it yourself, you wouldn't be in the shape that you're in. Right? So, I'm not good mentally and I'm not good physically right now. Okay. With that being said, all right. I just wish I could just do this. I wish I could just press right here. It's just like right here. It's just right there. Okay. And I do need to update you that Larry is not good. He has all this. You can imagine he's a train wreck. He has COPD. He has oxygen and he can't breathe out of his nose because he has the virus that I have. And both of us are trying to take care, like I'm trying to take care of him and myself. And I got home yesterday. He was terrible. I said, Larry, I'm fixing to call your doctor and you're fixing to get on steroids because I don't know how to get rid of this. Larry's last day of antibiotics is tomorrow and he's not any better. And neither am I. And I'm like, this crap ain't going away. I don't know what we have, but it ain't good. It lasts forever. So, I went and got him some Vicks vapor rub and I got him that Vicks stick that you stick up your nose, but he can't get oxygen through his nose because his nose is stopped up. And so his oxygen has been off. You know what his resting heart rate is? Are y'all ready for this? His resting heart rate was 120 when the nurse was here. Resting heart rate was 120. So we some sick folks around here. We some train wreck sick folks. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get through this. Some of you guys sent me some birthday money, and I wanted to tell you what I bought. I ended up buying these overalls that has Jack on them, and I love them. This is the first time I've worn them, but thank you. And I don't know if you know what Brighton jewelry is. Do y'all know what Brighton? Um, Lorraine, you bought me this. Lorraine, the money that you sent me, I bought a Brighton watch band. Oh, crap. It just broke. But that's a good thing because I needed to take a link out. Hey, maybe I don't have to go to the jewelry store today. No, I do. Okay. I bought a Brighton watch band. It's too big for me, so I have to go to the jewelry store to have it. Oh, that's an extra link. Maybe it fits now. Hang on. I'm so crazy. That's an extra link, and I didn't realize it. I bet it fits now. I probably don't have to go to the jewelry store. It fit. I didn't know that was an extra link, so we'll put that in there. So I bought a Brighton watch band with the money that I got and these overalls, and I also bought a pair of muck boots that are the low ones for summer. I haven't got those in the mail yet. So the ones that sent me money, thank you. I just wanted to tell you what I bought. And I love everything that I got. Yesterday was like Christmas because I got my overalls, I got my watch band, and I had 3 huge boxes from Miller Manufacturing on my front porch. And in it was all kinds of stuff for me to do reviews on. And I told Shane, I said, man, I got home from the doctor and it's like Santa Claus had come. I was like, I got all kinds of stuff in the mail and it was so much fun. So thank you. Also, I want to thank every single person that donated money to Queso's enclosure. I got a little over $3,200 from you guys. And as a creator, sometimes you value your worth over it's so if you're not a creator, you might not understand this. But like, I don't know, let's just say that you do a video and it takes you like 3 hours to do and you only get like 1,000 views. You feel like no one cares. This is what creators do, okay? And I'm not alone. I'm friends with creators. We all do this. If the views are not good, we go, oh, nobody likes us. Nobody wants to watch our content. I mean, what the heck? Why do I even spend 3 hours editing a video? I should just put the video together and quit spending all this time editing because no one cares. That's what you do as a creator. It's terrible. The life that a creator lives, sometimes we value our worth off a stupid view. And it's not like that because when I did the fundraiser for Queso and got $3,200, I was like, people care. People honestly care about Queso. They care about his well-being. They care about the mission that Sneed's Farmhouse has. They trust me so much that they're willing to make a donation to my farm because they see me giving back. They know that I'm a nonprofit. They know that I work hard. You know, I'm not just out asking for money. Judy works hard. I am here every Monday and Wednesday, sick of the dog with snot in my nose, menopause, eating crackers, trying to go live to help someone with mental health to let you know that you're not alone. I care. And so when you guys donated, it brought me back to, there's so many good people in the world. Oh my gosh, there are so many good people. Like, even in this sinful world that we live in, there's such good people. There's people that care. There's people that are so generous that would, donate to queso. Thank you. Thank you. My goal, I wish I could just breathe. My goal is to raise $5,000 over 5 weeks. May the 5th was the first day. So, I mean, to raise that much money in one day, queso is loved by the backup dancers. That's all I can say. I mean, absolutely loved. And he's going to be so excited when he gets his new enclosure. He is. So if you donated, thank you so much. But I have to say that I'm the type of creator that worries about the person who can't donate and wish they could. That's what I worry about. I sit here, I'll tell you, Diane, if you don't know who Diane Wood is, Diane Wood was a loyal follower that was on everything of mine. And she passed away this past year. And she was that follower that would message me and said, "I'm sorry, I can't, I can't donate." And I'm like, "Diane, stop." That's why I do not like doing this, because I'm so grateful for the people that donate. But Judy worries about the person behind the screen that goes, "I wish I could donate, but I can't because I'm on a fixed income." That's who I worry about. I worry about those people. I do. And I had to remind Diane all the time. I said, "Diane, it's not about that. It's not." I was like, "Diane, you do so much for me. When you are on every single live, you're on every single video commenting, you like every single video that I post, you share all my content." Diane followed me on all the platforms. She wasn't just on YouTube, she was on everything. She went to TikTok, she went to Instagram, she followed me everywhere. And I said, "Diane, you don't understand." And you don't understand. You're very valuable to me. You do enough. So if you're that person that sits there and says, "Oh, I wish I could have been a part of that $3,200, please don't get in left field. That's Satan trying to tell you that you ain't worth nothing. And that's a big fat lie. Okay? You are very valuable to me, whether you give or you don't give. I have never done really a fundraiser before, but that's why I don't like doing them, because I don't like the people that can't give to get in left field. I don't like that. So if you're sitting there and you're in left field wishing that you could have gave to me, stop it, because that is Satan telling you that you ain't worth shiitake mushrooms. And Aunt Judy is here to tell you that you're worth everything to every one of these backup dancers, because you know what? Let me just tell you. I'm going to say this. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, okay? What does that even mean? You know, we all deal with mental health in some way. There is some type of something that we deal with, whether it's in the closet or out in the front. We deal with some type of addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, all the crap that comes with being a human being because we are born sinners, right? We all deal with something. And let's think about this just for a minute. I'm going to share with you this story. So, I went to the doctor on my own, to a psychiatrist, because I knew something was wrong with me mentally. I took myself, now my mom took me as a child, but I took myself to the doctor as an adult in 2006. And I remember walking in the door and going, I'm so janked up. I don't know what's wrong with me, but this is what I do. And I had to be raw and honest and go, this is what I do. I said, I get wound up and I can't sleep for like 5 days. And I do risky behavior and I am, and then I just like after I get off this high, I fall out and I can't get out of the bed. I can't go to work. I can't function. I can't, I just sleep forever. And she did a bunch of tests on me over the next couple of months and she diagnosed me with bipolar. And I felt like I got kicked in the teeth because I am just like everyone else. And the word bipolar to me was, oh no, I am crazy. Oh no, now I have the diagnosis to my name. Oh no, it was just like not good. Not good at all. But it was almost like I already knew it in my head, but like for it to be brought to the surface was painful to me. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I was I didn't really know enough about this is what I knew about bipolar. Oh my gosh, bipolar people kill people. Oh my gosh, bipolar people are psychomaniacs. Oh my gosh, bipolar people like spend tons of money. Oh my gosh, bipolar people. Like I started Googling it and I was like, oh no, I'm this. I'm not this. I don't go out and spend tons of money. I don't rob banks or kill people. Like what the heck? And so I went back to her and I was like, oh no, I am not what Google says. I'm not. I am not, I am not that person. And she was like, Judy, there are so many successful people that are bipolar. So she began to name all the successful people that have bipolar. Like there was this famous painter. I can't remember who he is. There's this famous painter um that paints and he's bipolar and he made millions of dollars off his artwork and he would get manic and he would draw these pictures that were absolutely amazing when he was manic. And what happens with me is when I get manic, it's almost as if I become superwoman. I can literally do anything. It's like I get this cape on and come Wonder Woman, and I could stand like this, and I can run marathons. I can accomplish anything. There is no stopping me. But see, people with bipolar, that becomes an addiction. And if you don't have bipolar, you're probably not knowing what I'm talking about. It feels good to be manic. I'm telling you, it feels amazing because you're happy, you're smiling, you're in a good mood. Nothing can stop you. You can, like when I was in sales, oh my gosh, when I was manic, I could sell, you could stick me. Let me just tell you this. If I was manic, I could get in a sales, I could go on an interview and convince that person that I knew everything I was talking about. Let me back up. I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. I worked for Verizon Wireless. I was a manager, and I opened up this store, okay, in Chelsea, Alabama. I opened up this store, and I had a couple of employees under me, and I ended up when you're in sales, it's almost like you constantly look at the want ads. That sounds like I'm old, but you constantly look at other jobs because you think you're worth more money than you make. I mean, it's kind of like what you do in sales. Salespeople kind of job hop. That's normal for a sales position because sales is like really, you're only as good as the next sale. So people in sales they don't usually stay in the same job forever. Anyway, so I found this job at Dale Carnegie. Do y'all know what Dale Carnegie is? I don't know if you know what Dale Carnegie is, but there was this job at Dale Carnegie. My dad was in sales, and my entire life, my dad told me that Dale Carnegie changed his life, and Dale Carnegie is what made him go into sales because he realized he was really good at sales from going through the Dale Carnegie class. If you don't know what Dale Carnegie is, it's a training program. And they have different types of training. They have where if you are like a public speaker, they take you through training on how to public speak, or they take you through training on how to be a good salesperson. Like it's like that. So my dad has always spoke very, very, very highly of Dale Carnegie. And I saw a job opening for Dale Carnegie, and it was like, oh my gosh, what if I worked for Dale Carnegie? So I applied for the position. I got the job. Okay. I got the job. That lady was like, thought I was the poo poo. Okay. She loved me. She absolutely adored me. Okay. She thought I was going to be an asset to her company. She was like, loved me. As a matter of fact, she sent me roses to my job and congratulated me on getting the job at Dale Carnegie. That's how much she loved me. She literally sent me flowers to work. I get the job. Okay. I get the job. And I start working there. Well, it's a sales job. So I have to go out in the public to try to get businesses to use Dale Carnegie in their training. I was very sick. I got sick in the middle of me working there. And when you have depression, you try to hide it because, like, you can't say, hey, I'm sick. I have a stomach virus. I can't come into work today. When you have severe depression, you can't call your employer and go, hey, I'm depressed today. I can't come into work. You know what I mean? You'll get written up. You can't say that. So, like, you have to, when you have depression or like an illness that keeps you from being able to get up and go to work, you have to pretend like you're sick in another way. So you have to lie. You have to say, I have the flu, or I have COVID, or I have a stomach virus, or my mom just passed away. I can't come into work. I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. Because if I called Dale Carnegie and said, hey, I've been manic for 5 days and I've crashed. Like, I can't come into work. I may be gone all week. Do you think Dale Carnegie can go, oh, sure, take the week off? I get it. I totally understand that you are totally manic and you need the week off. They don't understand that. You can't say that. You can't call your employer and go, I'm depressed and I have no idea why. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make up this daggum lie to keep you from getting written up. You have to say my kid's sick or some crap. And then what happens is you have to lie about it, and then you feel guilty. Because then when you go back to work, how's your son? Oh, he's doing much better. You know, you have to lie because people don't understand mental health. So when you have mental health issues, you find yourself freaking lying all the time because you can't say it out loud. Now, if I call Dale Carnegie and go, hey, I have diabetes and my blood sugar is 500 and I'm going to have to go in the hospital for 5 days to get my sugar. Oh my gosh, do you need anything? And then they, might send you food or flowers telling you they're sorry. They understand that. They get that. But if I called up and said, hey, the reason I sold so many Dale Carnegie classes is because I was freaking manic. And now I've crashed and I'm going to need 5 days off to recover from all those Dale Carnegie classes that I sold last week. Do you think she's going to send me flowers and send me food? Mental health awareness. It's the saddest thing to live in silence. But the world doesn't understand mental health. They don't. You have to lie. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So, to make a long story short, guess what? Judy got fired from her first job not my first job. That wasn't my first job. I got fired from Dale Carnegie. I was humiliated. Never been fired in my life. I got fired because I couldn't tell the truth that I had mental health issues. Because people don't understand mental health. They couldn't understand why I had to take off to recover. It's very sad. And we live in silence because when you say you have mental health problems, they go. I remember when I first got married to Shane. And I was like, okay, his family, I even said it, even with Shane, I was like, I got to be on my best behavior. Like, I cannot let Shane know that I have mental health issues. Like, because we were just dating. We were just going out. Like, I cannot tell him. I'm gonna have to be Johnny on the train, because that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, you know. If you start off a date and you're like going out to eat and you're like, hey, I just need to let you know I have bipolar. I'm saying they're gonna run. They're gonna run. Because untreated bipolar is a train wreck. Been there, done that. Believe it or not, bipolar can be managed. I'm the living proof that bipolar can be managed. And I'm here to tell you about it. I'm here to tell you it can be managed. It can't be managed by yourself. It is a chemical diagnosis, a chemical brain diagnosis. It has to be treated, or you're going to be a train wreck the rest of your life. And you're going to be going, why can't I get up and go to work? Why do I have to lie and say my kid's sick? Why do I have to, when I can't go to family functions, why do I start getting a bad name for my family going, oh, here she goes again. Here she goes. Here she goes again. Why do I have to go through that? Because you're untreated bipolar or untreated depression. There is an answer, but there's a lot of hard work that is going to be involved to get you to where you need to be, and that is the best version of yourself. It does not come easily, and it's something that you have to work out every single day, because that crap will creep right back up. It's not like you go, oh, I went to the doctor, I got the magic pill, and I never struggle again. That is a lie. That is a big fat lie. Okay. When you have mental health issues, I know this sounds scary, but yes, you have to go to counseling and the doctor the rest of your life. It is a commitment. It is a commitment. When I got diagnosed, I was humiliated and I didn't want to tell anybody. How do you tell people that? I think that you don't really have to tell people that. I mean, I did tell. I remember. This is so funny. Shane and I had been dating a while. And I walked in the door and I said, hey, I had prepared him. I said, I need to talk to you. Okay. What? I need to be real with you because I'm an honest person. And he was scared to death what I was about to say. And I told him, I said, I struggle with mental health. And you need to know that up front. We've been dating long enough for me to trust you, you to trust me. But I need you to know that I have dealt with mental health in the past. I take care of myself today, but there was a time in my life that was really, really dark. I've been in the hospital multiple times. So you need to know up front what I've been through. I was very honest with Shane. We had been dating, I'd say, a year before I actually told him. Are my eyes black? You can tell. But when I got the diagnosis, I was like, what do I tell people? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And she said, let's talk about it. And I told you, she said, let's talk about the famous people that have bipolar. And so we began to Google what famous people have bipolar. And I was shocked. I was so shocked at all the famous people that had bipolar. Marsha Linehan, which is the lady that wrote this book that changed my life, she has bipolar. And she's a doctor. She's literally a psychiatrist. And she talks about how she got to where she is today. And, I respect her for using her practices to help other people. I do. It's not easy to sit here and say you struggle with mental health because majority of people are going to judge me. Oh, I knew something was wrong with her. She's so hyper. like, God, my nose. I wish I could just blow it. It's not easy to tell people that you struggle. It feels embarrassing, and I get you. I get you. It's hard. And you don't have to tell everybody that you're bipolar. You don't. I mean, it ain't like you walk, hey, my name's Judy. I just want to let you know I have bipolar. You don't have to do that, right? I think that for me, I had to go to counseling because I remember in counseling going, what do I tell people? I mean, what do I say? And she was like, well, Judy, it's really none of their business. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Because, like when you get a diagnosis for diabetes or cancer or fibromyalgia or something like that, you usually go home and tell, your family or your friends, hey, I have cancer. I'm going to have to start treatment. People get that. They understand that, or I've got diabetes. I'm going to have to go on insulin, whatever. I'm going to have to go in the hospital to get my sugar regulated. People understand that. But they do not understand if you said, if I went to Dale Carnegie, I said, hey, I'm going to need to take 6 weeks off because I'm going to have to go into the hospital because I have mental health issues. Do you think my boss would go, oh, sure, go right ahead? They don't understand that. But if you said, you're going to have to take off because you've got to have chemotherapy for 6 weeks, that's understood. Oh, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. They understand that. So as a child, I had to cover up my mental health because I didn't really understand it myself. So I found myself constantly finding an element in me that was sick. I would say, Mom, my stomach hurts. Something's wrong. Because I didn't understand mental health. All I knew is like my stomach hurt. Mom would take me to the doctor and I'd start having all these tests and, scared the bejesus out of you. I remember one time they thought I had MS. And I had little kids. This was like, I was almost 30 years old. Okay. Like I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew that I was depressed and I didn't feel good and something hurt inside. I didn't know how to say, I have mental health issues and I'm becoming a hypochondriac because I think my stomach hurts, my back hurts, my head hurts, my toe hurts, like everything hurts inside me and I don't know what's wrong with me. Like you don't know because you're not brought up understanding mental health. And like as a parent, I know for my parents, no one really did that when I was young. No one took their kid, like ADHD and all that crap wasn't really out in the open. Autism, none of that was out in the open when I was a kid. I never knew one kid that had autism. If they had autism, we classified them as weirdos. They're weird, and nobody hung out with them. No one understood autism or Tourette's. Nobody understood that. So, like, as someone that was in school, like high school or middle school, when we saw kids that had those tendencies, no one hung out with them. They're weirdos. Just like, let's just say that in school, I don't remember really people being like gay because that was hidden. If you were gay, you didn't say a word because you would get the crap beat out of you. Same thing with interracial relationships. When I was in high school and middle school, oh, that was hidden. You did not tell people that you dated outside the race. It was a no when I was in school. You didn't do that because it wasn't understood. You got the crap beat out of you if you dated out of your race, or you were gay, or you had autism. No one understood it. You were separated. That's how it was. Today, it's different. Mental health is more of an awareness today. People, start noticing their kids are very hyper. They take them to the psychiatrist. They get diagnosed with ADHD. They get on medication and get regulated. It's more understood today. Autism has been brought to the surface today. And, kids are diagnosed, and kids are not necessarily separated because other kids start understanding, oh, they have autism. Okay. Oh, you need to show kindness to this person. They don't have a lot of friends because they are different. It's more accepted today than it was when I was a kid. So when I was fighting mental health issues, it was never brought to the surface. I was very popular in school. I will say I was. And my senior year, when my depression crashed and I tried to take my own life and it ended up in the hospital, everybody was like, because no one saw it coming, because it was hidden. My depression, my trying to speak out that I'm hurting, was my stomach hurts. I need to have surgery. Something's not right inside me. Like, I was almost like a hypochondriac because I didn't know how to say I have mental health issues, because that was not brought to the surface when I was a child. No one spoke of mental health issues. Today's world is a lot different. When kids, mental health awareness, there was no mental health awareness when I was a kid. I don't remember a mental health, like, how there's ribbons now. There's an autism ribbon. There is a mental health ribbon that's green. There's the pink breast cancer ribbon. There were no ribbons when I was a kid. There was no awareness about anything when it came to mental health. So when I, in high school, tried to take my life, people were like, she's freaking popular. She fits in. She's head Valorette. She's freaking on the, Personality Plus and senior. She makes good grades. What the heck? Didn't see this coming. I just snapped one day. Okay, God, my preaching gets so long. Um, I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. As it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I want you to check in with yourself. How do you feel? Do you find yourself sad? Do you find yourself sitting on the couch? Do you find yourself withdrawing? Do you find yourself not having a lot of friends? Do you find yourself crying a lot? Do you find yourself worrying about, overeating or not eating enough? Like what do you find yourself being different from other people? Like what? Check in with yourself. I don't care what age you are, you're not too old to find a solution. Sometimes it takes 50 years to get to the point where enough is enough. Like, I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of feeling sluggish. I'm tired of crying all the time. I'm tired of dysfunctional relationships with people. Like, sometimes it takes 50 years to get to that point because it did me too. But I'm here to tell you that it's not too late to get your straight. Okay? It's not. It's a step in the right direction. And if you think you can do it yourself, you're fooling yourself. If you could do it yourself, you wouldn't struggle. There are support groups. Let's just say it's financial, that you're not good with finances. Okay? Let's just say do I think that's a mental health issue? I do. I personally do. There's a reason it causes you to do the things that you do, because when you spend money, it makes you feel good. I get it. When I'm manic, it makes me feel good, but I like to be manic. And I had to learn that manic is not good for me, because after mania comes crashing. Same thing with finances. Feels good when you're spending, feels great. Oh my gosh, it feels so, so good. But guess what? You're going to crash. When the credit card bill comes in, you're going to crash. So you have to learn how to be balanced. I talk about balance all the time. Churches have the Dave Ramsey. It's free. You can go through Dave Ramsey. I love Dave Ramsey. There's programs out there. It's not like, I don't know. If you can't afford it, there are solutions. You got to want to be better to use your researches to figure out what you can afford to get yourself help. Call your insurance company. Hey, I'm struggling with mental health. I can't afford my $50 copay. Do you have another alternative that I can do to take care of myself? Call your insurance company. Find out what resources are out there available for people that can't afford their copays or their medication. Believe it or not, there are so many scholarship things from pharmaceutical companies where they'll pay for your medication. Larry got on it when he had cancer. His medicine was like $800 a month. There are resources. You just got to want it bad enough. Have you hit rock bottom? Have you said enough is enough and it's time for me to get help? I am not the best version of myself. I struggle with A, B, and C. And if I could fix it, I'd already fix it. It's not good. It robs me of my joy all the time. What is it? What robs you of your joy? That's what you have to figure out. And that is the start of a wonderful, happy life, of being whole and staying in your own lane, fixing you. Quit trying to fix your spouse. Quit trying to fix your kids or your sister, your brother, your dad, your mom. Quit trying to fix them and run after recovery yourself. fix you. So today is Wednesday and you have choices. Sitting it out is going another day of loneliness, unhappiness, sadness. That is sitting it out. Dancing is taking the step in the right direction to be the best version of you, doing what it takes to get yourself help. I'm here for you. I'm here. Thank you for posting on the community page. Y'all, I love if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you till I just don't show you anymore. On YouTube, pull up Sneed's Farmhouse. It has to be on your cell phone. It can't be on the TV or iPad. Pull up your cell phone. Go to Visit Community right there. On here, you hit newest at the top. Hit newest. You can post pictures. You can talk to me openly. Look, I researched this. The only people that see this are my subscribers. No one else can see this, okay? You can communicate with me on here. Now, if you need to communicate with me privately, you can email me, okay? But the backup dancers are here for you. There's no judgment. Sneed's Farmhouse does not allow judgment. I don't care what you're going through. If you don't want to talk about it publicly on here with the subscribers, you can email me. Not that I have the answers, but I'll help you get to the right doctor. But anyway, you can post pictures. I want us to communicate on here. I want you to go to this community board. I want us to be a team. Okay. I don't want it to be all Judy. Let's be a team. Let's get on here and let's communicate. Let's see each other. Let's see each other's pictures and let's talk and let's communicate. So go out here to the community board and let's start dancing. Let's start helping one another be the best version of themselves. I will see you next week. Love y'all so much.